But on a podcast, has this been something you've been called to do every now and then?
Since the radio show ended, this is my first one.
Ooh, an exclusive since
Ah,
leaving radio.
yes, yes.
Oh my gosh. This is Needy and Normal. I'm your host, Ashley Levering, mom, wife, and life coach. After years of coaching and learning from my own life, one thing is clear: meeting your needs is essential for living your best life. Here, we'll talk about your needs and not only learn to accept them, but also tend to them without guilt. You're not needy, it's normal. Let's get into it. In August, Jay Fotsch announced his retirement from radio after 25 years. I like to call him the Ryan Seacrest of the Midwest. We have been friends for many years, and I'm so excited that he's joining me today on the podcast to talk about the changes that he chose and what lessons he's learned along the ways. You guys, I love this conversation. Please enjoy. So, hey, Jay.
Hi.
I'm glad you're here. I think
Yeah.
you know a little bit about what I do as a coach. I'm very big on change and people going through changes. And interestingly enough, when you popped into my mind and I saw things on Facebook, things moving around in your life, I thought, 25 years.
Yeah.
You keep saying, so
Yeah.
tell us about these 25 years and what recently changed.
Yeah. So, just real quick, so I don't bore anyone. So I was from St. Louis. I went to school down in Springfield, Missouri, which is about 3 hours south of St. Louis. And basically, I wanted to do radio even in high school. I was emceeing a bunch of things. I love sports. I've always loved baseball. That's kind of how, we all, I met you and your now husband Jeff. Um, but yeah, always loved it. Took a bunch of college classes, then was doing like an internet radio station. I'm kind of aging myself in college, and then yeah, just started DJing at clubs on the side. Loved music, and then got an internship at a radio station after I graduated in Springfield, and I was gonna move so many different times the first 10 years. I'm like, oh, I'm not staying here. I'm going to move all around and be the traveling DJ and media person who goes to each market every 2 years. And then I'll end up back to St. Louis in my hometown. It'll be great. And as we talk about a lot, when you talk about life, you plan a lot of things and there are some curveballs and life happens on its own terms. And then suddenly you're in Springfield, Missouri for 25 years of your life. And I love
So
it. But
by
yeah,
chance,
no, that's kind of how it
yeah.
started.
By chance you stuck around by one decision after the next, and it became you became a personality of the city, which you are still very much a big, well-known person in the town of Springfield, Missouri, and you're still there.
I'm still here.
I
Very
love it,
sad.
but I love
Very sad.
it. You
No,
couldn't escape.
it's great. There's so okay. So there is really so many things I love about Springfield. I know we're like kind of joking around and like kind of like, oh, that's small, but like I really love the outdoors. So there's a lot of different lakes. So I love to fish. I've always loved to hunt growing up outside of St. Louis. A lot of my cousins are from small towns, so we would hunt and fish on their land. So Springfield is awesome because there's a lot of opportunities to do that. And then since my family is all 3 hours away in St. Louis, I get to make it back there. Love the Midwest. It's beautiful. There's a lot of different hiking opportunities. So it's been really fun in the area. It really has. And I mean, this is what we call home. I mean, there's a reason why I stayed here. I always said that, oh, well, I'm doing radio. I'm doing the Springfield Cardinals, which is a AA affiliate of the Cardinals, which is how we all met. I was doing that on the side. Then I was doing a bunch of events on the side. I always had like three different jobs. And then I'm like, I love the area. And then now all of a sudden I'm out of radio and I'm like, oh, we have two kids, me and my wife. And I'm like, this is our home. Like, we don't want to go. So I know, like, I kind of like joke around about it, but we really love it here. Or else, I would have quit radio and then we would have moved to wherever, Michigan or Massachusetts.
Anywhere,
Isn't that
right?
where you were at before Milwaukee?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
went from, did we leave Springfield for Massachusetts? We did.
Yes.
That was when Jeff moved
Yeah,
up to Florida.
I will remind you. Yes, you went
Yes.
to
Help
Pawtucket,
me remember
correct?
my
Correct.
life, Jay.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a lot to think about.
Yep.
You know, it's funny you say that about like this is our home. We fell in love with it. We stayed. If it wasn't for the trajectory, like how Jeff's job and his career kind of went in this other direction, we, no joke, within a month of him getting the offer with the Paw Sox, we were looking at a house in Springfield, not too far from where you were living at the time. And I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
walking in this house and loving it. I'm like, we love Springfield. We loved living there. We would honestly live there. We love it so much. And the people are everything to us. And I remember walking through this house and thinking, God, I love this house. And I looked at Jeff and I said, but this isn't, we're not going to be here. I just know it. I could feel it in my bones that we weren't going to stay. And I was right. But in a heartbeat, we would have. We absolutely left part of our hearts in Springfield, Missouri, and any chance we get to go back. I mean, obviously, Jeff, working for the Brewers, gets to go to St. Louis every so often. He's like desperate for a day off in St. Louis so
Yeah.
he can come down to Springfield and see everybody. We miss everyone so much. But we just have so many fond memories of being connected to you and becoming like we had this great friend group, which I'm sure you're still connected with. And it was fun being social with the Jay Fotsch, Mr. 417. Like everybody listens to you in the morning. I explain you as like the Ryan Seacrest of the Midwest. Has everyone has you have
The great value version, the small town rural version of Ryan Seacrest, who doesn't have his own producers and team and makeup, and he's a beautiful man, and
oh, but has a life.
yeah.
Like I would listen to you every day on the way to work. But you have a life. Ryan Seacrest has no life. All he has is work. It's true. It's true. He may be
Yeah.
beautiful, but it's not all real. Look at that. I mean, if you could
Yeah.
see, this is not video for the listeners, but you have a beautiful
Yeah.
beard going. I mean, come on. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah,
Definitely.
you've become an integrated part of your community, and you're all over the map as far as Springfield goes. People know you, people love you, and you've created this life for yourself. So like how have you developed this world? I know you've been through lots of changes. We can kind of go back in time a bit, but you're in
Yeah.
the community and you have this family life now.
Yeah. I mean, I've been thinking a lot about like when we talked and like kind of the stuff that you do with life coaching and just about life in general. And no matter what you're doing, like everybody's busy, no matter what kind of work they do. Obviously some more than others, or some are on the road a little bit more. It makes kind of, hard life as, for kids and relationships and everything else, but just hours in general, even if you're at work quite a bit. A lot of mistakes were made. I mean, you look back, I'm in mid 40s now, and I'm looking back in the 20s and the 30s and just the balance. And I think, I was so dead set on just the career, like especially once you graduate college and you want to start a family, but you're so focused. I know I was on the career and what can I do? And I said yes to everything. I never said no to anything, which was good and bad. Like that helped me do a lot of things and have some one-on-ones and first impressions and experiences with one-on-one, which I think is still really important. I know it's really awesome with social media and what we're doing right now, but man, that one-on-one connection is really good medicine for everyone, even if you're an introvert. Okay, introverts. I know I'm very much of an extrovert, but introverts, it is still good medicine. You have to force yourself to have that human interaction a little bit. But man, I got that wrong a lot. Like with that, all of the doing the events and constantly doing Springfield Cardinals and charity events every weekend and happy hours and just constantly entertaining. It was great. It still is great. But I think the biggest thing was the balance. So, I mean, you're talking like serious things, two failed marriages, probably too much partying, your social life, it starts all fun, and then it becomes, your body starts getting older, and you're like, man, I can't keep up with this like I was in my 20s. I was go 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 and doing 20-hour days or 19-hour days, and it just catches up. So you start looking back and go, man, there was a lot of things I could have said no to. So you give a lot up. I'm gonna sound really weird when I quote this, but I watched a documentary last week on Barbara Walters, the
Barbara.
pioneer for journalism for women. And I've always loved Barbara Walters. My mom has loved Barbara Walters. I remember watching the celebrity interviews growing up when they would do them every, whatever it was, Sunday night, Friday night. I mean, she was incredible. But gosh, there was somebody related to her. She was just like, I never really had a good relationship. I didn't have a relationship with my daughter, but I had to be there. And by no means am I to any level of Barbara Walters. I'm not trying to say that I'm the same way, but I related to her in a sense, in a very smaller, lower sense, where it was like, okay, I'm giving myself to everything. And, in return, there's some things that I have to sacrifice and kind of lose in a sad kind of a way.
I hear that. Well, and we did talk, kind of our pre-conversation was one of the biggest lessons you've more recently learned is the art of saying no and finding this
Yeah.
balance finally in life. And, the way you're talking through some of the things you've experienced and how you related to Babs was, it makes sense. You have to go through all these things that you kept saying yes to realize the value of no. And have you put that to the test more recently, saying you've said no to more things than, 20 years ago? You would have said yes to all of them, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that was kind of the, not to say that I couldn't do radio anymore and say no and keep on doing that. Side note, I mean, I just don't think the radio is the same thing as it used to be. And I don't want to be one of those old guys that's like, it's not the way it used to be. I wish it was. And it's just kind of like, when you're in an industry or you're in a certain company where they don't value people anymore, and that's the only thing I have to offer as a person, it's almost kind of like, well, I need to find something else. So that was kind of the realization I went to that. So I still could have done that. But with that, I mean, I think that you really, like, as for me, I had to prioritize, like, who do I want to be in life? Do I want to be a good husband and a good father first, and then have a good career? And I think, I put all that other stuff here in the beginning, and now I'm slowly realizing through a lot of mistakes and a lot of soul searching and a lot of life coaching, as we kind of talked about, where you're just kind of like, okay, how am I going to fulfill this? If I really want to do this, if I would say that I want to do this, now where's the action part? Because anybody can say anything, but the doing part is the hard part. So if I really want to change, if I really want to be the best father and husband I can be, I'm going to have to say no and balance a little bit of that career stuff. So now I've had an opportunity to kind of go in a different route, to where I'm recruiting for a company in town, in Springfield, Missouri, or still of our home. And it's able to give me a little bit better balance because, I mean, we have a 7-month-old and I have a stepdaughter who's 6. So I want to be there for those events. I want to do all those things. And you can't do both. You just can't. And I know a lot of people are like, well, I want to do both. I'm going to do both. And that's cool. I hope it works for you. It didn't work for me. And that doesn't work for me personally, but.
And you gave it a long time and all the effort to try and see how you could do all the things. And I see this so much in my work and in my husband. Trying right, trying to say yes. That's one of our kitchen catch up conversations. It's like when he gets home from a road trip, I'm like, is there anything you can say no to? Is it
Yeah.
possible? And he's learning that too, because when you're in, the thick of your career or the height of your career and things are going really well, it's hard to kind of see past those highs and to see really meaningful things that actually fulfill and make your life worth living and breathing for. So,
Yeah.
and these are lessons we're supposed to learn all the time as being people, but I want you to take us back a little bit to some of the mistakes and the heartache and the lessons you had to learn kind
Yeah.
of the hard way to get yourself here. You said
Yeah.
two failed marriages. I hate the word
Yeah.
failed, but I mean, that's reality, right? Things changed.
It takes two. It takes two. I mean, I don't ever want to be that person where it's just like, wow, she was terrible. That was terrible. Well, it was, I didn't have, I mean, it's poor me.
Mhm.
I mean, that is, I wouldn't, for myself, I wouldn't be learning anything. I have to, this, how I do my day. And this is, I guess, kind of the life coach stuff too, we were talking about is kind of like, I got to look in the mirror first. What am I doing wrong? What am I causing to the problem? What can I do better? Because I
Taking
do have
responsibility.
control over, yes. Yeah, personal accountability. What are my actions? How did I, play a factor? Because that's the hardest thing. Because I don't want to be the first person that say I'm doing things wrong or hey, I messed up. Like, I've started a new career. I'm on my 6th week, and trust me, I've made mistakes, and I've had to email some of my bosses and be like, I forgot to check this. But, and do I like that? No. Do I want that to continue to happen? No. Am I going to try my best for it to not happen again? Of course. But I think when it comes to problem solving with any kind of relationship, whether that's personal, business, you know, I think it's easier to problem solve when you just go, hey, this is why it messed up and it was me. That's hard. It's even hard. And I don't want to speak for all men, but to be, oh, a little humble and have a little humility and just say that is also medicine. And I know I brought up medicine a lot, but I mean, there's just some things, just a lifestyle of keeping it simple every day, that I used to really complicate my life with a lot of these things, and it didn't need to be complicated. There are so many different things that'll be on our plates in life that it's going to be complicated, and I don't need to go out of my way to complicate things. It will happen. I will have complicated situations and things that happen that will just organically be there with life. But yeah, I think a lot of those, as the marriage is like, what did I do? I could have said no. I didn't have to work TV, radio, and Cardinals, and not ever be home. I could have, when you start getting older, or I know for me, my experience, when I started getting older, like drinking was not helping. That was just, it wasn't necessarily like there was some kind of crazy event that happened, but it was more so just like a slow burn of like, gosh, this is really slowing not only my career down, but my personal life. It's not helping my health. It's not helping any kind of relationships, whether that's friendships, business relationships, personal relationships. So that was also something where it was like, okay, I have to take a long look in the mirror and start changing things instead of saying them, actually doing them. So yeah, long look in the mirror, um, being honest when you don't want to, saying that I can't do certain things is okay. And those, if you would ask me 10 years ago and I would be listening to myself right now, I'd be like, who is this guy? Just so,
So grown
come
up.
on. Yes. Okay. Yes. I know this dude. Okay. Yeah. I've tried to figure this out. Okay. Thank you. This is great. Now write a poster and put it hanging in your office. Awesome. Let's success.
You
A
wouldn't have bought
man
it.
climbing a mountain. Great.
Okay. You had to live it to believe it.
Yeah. Yes. And I mean, some of the things that you talk about, like that we kind of talked about too, it's just, what are your goals? Make them obtainable, you know, uh, but, but make them accessible as well to that you can actually do it. Because if you can't do anything, you can't say without doing. Like I've learned, especially the last 5 years, like do it first and then talk about it, or don't talk about it at all. Just do it. Just show people, show you, first, and the people that you love around you first. And then, then you have more to give away from yourself. I mean, I've heard it explained before. I'm sure you have too, is make sure you have a slice of the pie to give away to the people that you want to give away in your day. Like, I need to give a slice of pie to the people at work. I need to give a slice of pie to the kids. I need to get a slice of pie to my wife. I got to give a slice of pie to the house, like whatever that happens to be. But just make sure I don't give them all away on, something that's not healthy or something that I don't need to be giving it away for.
Yeah.
And I think as I reflect on a lot of mistakes that I made, like I was giving a lot of those pieces of me away to things that maybe didn't matter, wasn't long lasting, wasn't fulfilling, wasn't helping me, wasn't helping anyone else. It was just 0 for 5, everything. Sorry, I got to throw baseball terms out there. I know you get that enough.
I love it. I love it. It's a good visual though. And for someone listening who's really on themselves about mistakes. I mean, I think mistakes and lessons are one and the same. And I love that visual of the pie, the pieces of the pie. And you're giving pieces of yourself away every day, all the time, especially when you care and want to show up for everybody else. And noticing that you have to keep a piece or two or more sometimes for yourself, that's hard to do. And I love that visual. And I also love what you said about being honest even when you don't want to be. And I don't know if that comes from age or learning things the hard way or what, but
Yeah.
like tell me how that's blossomed in your marriage now. Like being honest even when you don't want to be. Has that become a helpful thing for this relationship? Why are
Yeah.
you smiling? I feel like we're
So
going into good places.
let me tell you something I was just thinking about today. Okay, let me share. This is something that I now put in my life, and that is called pause. Pause is important for me in so many different ways, but especially in marriage, where if I think of something or if I hear something, maybe it's not best to just go ahead and say what's on my mind at the time.
Mm,
Maybe it's not best to just knee jerk react. Maybe it's not best to just, my first thought to go ahead and say that out loud. Maybe that's not a good idea for me. Yeah. So there's a lot of times, and it's not about being right or wrong. It's about pause. And sometimes I pause, whether, I'm the person who's doing something, or I didn't take out the trash, or I'm not helping with the kids. I need to pause. And if I'm still thinking those thoughts in about an hour, or if I'm still kind of, upset about a certain thing, then I will talk about it, because I don't think that it's healthy to keep anything bound up inside and not talk about it. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying that there are some things as loved ones, whether that's our parents, our grandparents, our cousins, our spouses, they know how to push our buttons, and they know they love us, and they know how to get under our skin. They might not be doing it even purposely, but they just know how to do it, and they do it. And I don't need to say the first thing that I'm thinking. So pause is the best thing that I've learned about marriage and just reflecting, because a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, I'd say 90%, maybe more, after an hour, doesn't matter anymore. It's not really important. It wasn't important what I needed to say.
hmm. So it's like
It
an
really
impulse
wasn't.
control.
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody's personality is different, I am very type A, and I like, being on the radio. You got to say what's on your mind. You got to get to the point. You got to, and sometimes you can carry that over in life, and sometimes I'm just a little too direct. So maybe I could just pause,
Mhm,
maybe if
mhm.
I'm working and I'm doing that and I need to be direct, that's okay. I can do that at work. I don't need to do that with my kids and my wife and my mom. I could just go, all right, maybe they're just trying to get things out. I don't know. Maybe I'll just give them a pair of ears to listen to.
Mhm. That's a good lesson, though. I
That's,
like the
I mean,
pause.
that's something I've really learned the last 5 years for sure.
Well, and that's interesting because when you're in radio, you're live. And when you're on the baseball field, like you have a microphone in your hand, you have to say you can't really let things breathe. You
Yeah,
have to just go. There's a lot of impulse and you have to say all the first thoughts and you got to be quick on your feet. So that
quickly.
must be a big change.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
And you can, and the thing is it's like, it's not the end of the world. It's not like you can never not be quick with, your loved ones. There's just certain things where you're like, no, I don't think I need to, I don't think I need to say anything. Just pause. And I mean, even with some life things, I mean, we all go through people who make us mad. I don't, whether it's a neighbor or somebody at work or you're having problems with whoever's stepdad or stepdaughter, if you happen to be in that situation, like maybe I just need to sleep it off and not say anything. And I don't know, you're right, I don't know if this is like an age thing or just you're being around and I've made a lot of mistakes to where I just say things and maybe I just need to go to sleep and not say anything. And I mean, I heard somebody at work say, I don't know if this is like a Buddhist mentality of sometimes the best thing said is not saying anything at all. I heard somebody saying that today at work, and I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. I mean, I can relate to that. Like
yeah.
that's sometimes you just don't need, like sometimes you just really don't, and that's just for me because I like to say things. I like to walk the line. I like to have people think. I like to think myself. I like to look at the world in a different angle. So all of those perspectives I love to share, but sometimes I don't need to.
Mhm. You still are this person, even if you have the pause. You still have, like you said, you're quick-witted. You like to challenge people. You like to be direct. I love that you said you like to look at things from a different angle. I love that.
I am full of useless knowledge, and I was telling one of my coworkers too much about Ed Gein, the monster thing that's on Netflix that's very popular right now. And I'm like, yes, I've known about Ed for a while. Let me just tell you about what he did as a grave robber. And
Mm.
she was like, oh, you know a lot about. I'm like, yeah, I don't know why. And I don't think she really wanted to know much about that, but I gave it to her anyways. And those were one of the many things where I just need to shut up.
It's funny. You and Jeff have this in common that you're literally this bank of random knowledge, and anything at any moment could come out of you that either is wildly interesting or like something that would shock people. Like, oh, wait, how do you know about all of that? Some of the things Jeff says, I'm like, where do you learn these things? He
Yeah.
says it. He's like, I don't know. I have random things just in my head, and
Yeah.
sometimes I share them.
Yeah.
I
And
love
I
it.
think that's like, and I know like that's why I hit it off so much with Jeff is that you're you're going to swing and miss at some of the things that you throw out there, but at least you throw it out there and you go, okay, I won't do that again, or yeah, I tried this and this is not going to work, like let's not do that again. But I think with that, like especially when you're in the world of communications and delivering messages and trying to entertain also on all of those like together, I think that you do have to try because I don't know, like if I'm the same person all the time and I'm just have this like glitch or niche about me, it's just kind of like, I mean, maybe people are okay with it, but I'm bored. And
Mm-hmm.
I also like I want to give my energy to other people. So if I'm bored, I don't have much energy to give you. I don't have anything like kind of entertainment to give you. So I also have to switch it up. So
Yeah,
there's
fair.
plenty of times where I post things or I'll say things that it's swing and miss for sure.
But the fact is, you're swinging, right? Like you're still going for it.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you
Yeah.
got to see what people react to. Oh, well,
That's
that was
right.
a miss. Oh, well, hey, they
Yeah.
liked that. Have you had to turn some of that off, not being this personality on the radio? And I also like would love to hear how you actually were able to separate yourself from that world because you were so immersed in it as this big personality with all these thoughts in your head and seeing
Yeah.
what gets gets some good reactions, or you're like you said, it's information, it's entertainment. Like how did you pull yourself away from it?
I think it's just kind of the same thing we were just talking about is like try something different. Like I know a lot of people, like especially like my mom, she was like, I don't know if you're gonna like what you're getting ready to do. And that is recruiting truck drivers. I talk to truck drivers every day. I never thought I would be doing this. I never thought that I would be in the trucking community. I don't know anything about trucking. Um, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm on my 6th week. I'm learning. But with all of that being said, it's completely different. I didn't plan it. It's exciting. And I think that's the same feeling that kind of radio gave. And not to say that I'm ever not going to do like podcasts or different, I mean, we're evolving as a world, I mean, I don't know if radio will be here, forever. So you do videos, you talk to people, you do social media, I mean, there's other avenues where you can still do that, but I think that that's part of it. Like it's almost kind of like, well, how would I ever know if I don't try this? Like I think, and this is a very, very small scale, but like last year, I started emceeing horse shows for horses
That's
where they
different.
show their foxtrotting. Yeah, yeah, sure is. Never, I don't know anything about horses either. And like even like my friends from St. Louis, they're like, "Dude,
What are you
horses?
doing?
Like what?" But I'm like, "Hey, it's so different. It's such a different world. I like want these experiences to be like." And you know what? It's not like I have to do horse shows for the rest of my life. It's not like I have to do trucking for the rest of my life, but it's really exciting. And I'm meeting different types of people that I would never have met before. And it's kind of like I look back, even when I started at the Cardinals, like hanging out with fans, meeting people in the sports industry, I would have never met those people. Yeah, I mean, I would watch on TV and listen to it on the radio, but I would have never like had a personal relationship with these people. So you start just like taking in all these characters. I mean, I'm no one without the people that I've met in my life. Like, I mean, every single person has affected me in a different way, like in a great way. Like, and there's certain things that we get from certain people and we're like, gosh, I'll never forget that. Or I really want to put that into my personality that they really showed me this. And I think like being around different types of people like that, it just opens up so many different possibilities. And I'm in a sense, weirdly enough, filling that cup of communication, talking to people, because that's at the end of the day what I'm doing, what I was doing for 25 years on the radio. I'm just talking to maybe a smaller scale, like, or just one-on-one, or group meetings at work, or a group of truck drivers, or announcing at a horse show, or announcing at an MMA fight, or doing a charity event. Like, there's just I think that was why I had such a hard time saying no, but now I can say no with, here's why. Like I'm really trying to balance like being a father and a husband. And I think that if anybody can't understand that, then you probably don't want to work with them anyways. So yeah, I mean and that's not to say that you still can't do those things. Like I never wanted to get to the point across where it was like it's bad that your husband's on the road. That's not it at all. I'm just saying that there's, as you do it, there's different goals that you have as, personal. And I've always thought that was like selfish. I'm like, man, these personal goals is it's for me. Like, well, I need to give myself away to everyone.
Mm.
But if I don't, the basic concept of life coaching is like, gosh, if I'm not taking care of myself first, I can't give any part of me to anyone. And essentially, that's what I want to do. That's what, we talk about doing. Like, that's what I want to do. And if I'm not taking care of myself and saying no and balancing some of these life and career choices and, time for the family and time for friends and time for activities, then I guess I'm not really fulfilling on what I want to do. So,
Well, and you have to be clear on that too. And like you said, connecting with people and building your world with who you meet and who you say yes to and how you say no when you say no. It's all personal to what your life, like what you want your life to look and feel like. And a lot of times you do have to go
yeah.
through a lot of life to really organize that for yourself. I mean, speaking of a social life, I remember we used to have to hang out by meeting you at some event you were doing. I don't know if we ever had like a free
Yeah,
and clear, like, let's just meet up and go grab a drink or go, out for dinner or whatever. It was like, I'm doing the chili cook-off this weekend. Like, let's hang out while I'm there between, moments on stage. You've seen
yeah,
it now, you've lived it, and now I'm time for balance. And it's personal to everybody. Those goals, they might look
yeah,
different at different
sure.
parts of your life, and they're allowed to change because
Yeah,
you're changing. We're meant to evolve
of
and
course.
like turn the pages in our books. We're gonna go through all the different
Yeah,
chapters. So definitely a personal experience. But yeah, like that pie you mentioned, you have to save yourself a piece. That's not selfish because then you do give yourself enough to be able to show up for other people. And if that's, your
yeah.
heartbeat is connecting with other people, that matters.
And there's no right or wrongs to this. There's not, I mean, I think the
Mhm.
best thing, like, especially with your podcasts and like what you do with, some of your clients, I mean, everybody's different. Everybody needs different things. And, I think what's great about all of us is that we share our experience and hopefully maybe there's 1% of that somebody can take and go, oh yeah, I think I'm going to try that. It's not necessarily like mimicking, like this is the book of how to do it. Like, it's just, man, I mean, just admitting your faults is so. I, I never knew peace. I never knew what that word meant. Like, I'm not really a religious person. I'm more of a spiritual person now. But gosh, I never knew what peace was. And you can still be busy and have peace, but I didn't know
Right.
that.
I
And
agree
I
with
think
that.
with the peace, sometimes it is like taking care of yourselves, trying to get balance. I don't think it's almost like saying like, well, I strive to be perfect.
Yeah,
Okay, well, I mean
I agree.
I know how that's gonna end up for me. So it's almost kind of like I try to do balance. I tried to do good, but it's almost kind of just like the peace part. Man, if I don't have that in my day, and spirituality, I can't give any of that away. And
Mm.
it's, man, it's been a long journey of trying to get there. And I don't know if it's because I'm old, or just have had experiences where it's just pushed me to find that, to where it's like, okay, man, you've got two failed marriages, like, you know, drinking is not helping. It's slowing things down. Like, that's getting in the way of things that you want to achieve. And it's almost kind of like, where's the peace? And I mean, then you talk about the word insanity. It's like keeping on doing the same thing and expecting different results. It's time to do something different and have a little bit of peace. And then it takes just time. It takes repetitive time of doing, the next right thing, and going to bed at night and going, hey, I did my best today. Like, if I wronged anyone, make it right. And some people might say that that's a religious thing. I don't think it necessarily has to be. It's just, doing the right thing for anybody. So that's kind of what I've learned, and not anything that I've come up with on my own. It's just many, many people that have shared it with me, and people I've listened to, and people I've been close to in my life who've kind of given it to me. So now it's my turn to give that away to other people. And so that's kind of what I hope to do in anything that I do, whether I go back to radio, whether I keep talking to truck drivers, horses, baseball. Like, I mean, I think experiences and connection is all good medicine. And I mean, that's something that we all shared together for ever since we've known each other since '09 something, for a while. I don't know how many years
Yeah,
that
a
is. It's a long
while.
time.
Like, is it '09 or
Yeah.
10? Because it's a long time. But
Something like that. Somewhere around there. Yeah.
I love it. It sounds like this has been the biggest lesson, and I appreciate you confessing, like, not really knowing what peace
Yeah.
felt like. And when you're at a place that you've collected enough lessons by now to know, okay, I can protect my own energy and protect my peace. That's actually something that helps me thrive and do better, that you don't want to let that go once you kind of enter that next part of your life where you feel that and you know
Yeah.
what it's like to not give every ounce of yourself away. You feel good. It
Yeah.
feels good to save some of that for yourself. So if there's nothing else in this grand life, at least you have, as far as lessons learned, is like, at least I know what peace feels like and I want to keep it. And the
Yeah.
the what you said about balance, I did a whole podcast episode about how balance is bullshit, because it's really hard. It's really hard to find. There's no consistency in it, right? You can find it as much as you can, but there is no perfect. It's all a practice. So just try and do what works and don't do what doesn't work. It's just simplifying it. This is how I teach
Yes.
boundaries too. It's like what's okay versus what is not okay. So it doesn't have to be complicated, but you also don't have to put that extra layer of pressure on yourself to get things right. We're practicing being a human being every single day.
Yes. Yeah, and
So,
this isn't about being braggadocious and I've got it figured out. I mean, I also think that that's also a bad sign. Whenever if I ever like drive down the road one day and I'm like, man, I'm killing it. I got it all figured out, man. Woo! Like, and I'm not talking about rewards. Like, I'm talking about the next level of like, oh, I got it all figured out. It's cool. Now I'm good. Now I have peace. Now I have close to balance. It's all good. Man, it is work every day. Like, it is just, I have to be intentional about it every day that I wake up. I used to think that I had weekends off. That's not the case. You still do it on the weekends. No matter what day you
you
wake
still
up
have to
and
be
you try,
yeah,
you just try,
you just try.
and
Yeah,
I
you
think
have
that
to
that's, yeah,
human.
you, yeah. And I think
Try.
I mean, we kind of started connecting because, I had the big career change, but I think like all of this kind of connects together. Like it's almost kind of like, why not? Like, why not try something? Like, why not? I mean, you hear people all the time like, oh, this is going to be so hard. It's going to be so different. Like, it's going to be out of my comfort zone. And it's like, yeah, that's the neat part.
That's
Like, that is
that's
the
the
most
point.
exciting
Yeah.
part about it. And it is so like, we cannot plan life out. Hey, let me tell you something, Ashley. When I was 13 years old, I was not planning on being on my third marriage, um, not being in radio. I thought I was going to be in radio for the rest of my life.
Hmm.
I had it all figured out. I knew what I was going to do. I was going to join like an old man Elks club at a certain age, like maybe 50 or over. Like, I had it all. I was going to move back to St. Louis, just, go and eat peanuts and drink Budweiser and go to a Cardinal game all the time. Like, that was it, man. That's what everybody did. That was what your parents and grandparents and aunts and uncles and cousins, that's what they all do. This is what we're going to do. But it's just that, I guess that's the exciting part, is that you just don't know what's going to happen, and try to embrace it all. And I think that, I'm finally at a point in my life where I get to embrace it. Like, I get to experience all these things, and yeah, they're hard, but I mean, what isn't worth it? It's usually hard, the things that are worth it in the end. Like,
Yeah.
everything that I've done that was easy or for the now or for what I need right at this second, and selfishly for me, never ended well for me personally.
Yeah.
So
I hear
it's almost kind of like, okay, I'll just keep, I don't want to go out of my way to make it hard, because
that.
I've also done that too. And I don't think I want to do that again. So,
Well, it's good to know what you don't want to do. It helps you stick to what you do
boy,
want to
man,
do.
I've had a lot of those. I have a whole packet full of things I don't want to do and I don't want to continue to do, and go back to. And yeah, yeah.
I hear that.
I would have never thought I was doing I don't know anything about trucking. But it's great. Like, the people are great. Like, the coworkers, the company is incredible. And I'm not just saying that because I'm there. It's just, as we talk about simplifying life, sometimes, I had a long conversation with our friend, Dan, about like, well, I mean, if you're simplifying your life, ask for things, what do you want out of a job and what do you want to give them? And it's, and I think, I'm sure you've had this conversation with people who want to change their career. And it's like, well, let's simplify it. What do you want? And what can you offer those people? Like, well, what kind of marriage do you want with your career or your job? And
Mhm.
it was a couple of basic things. And it was, I want them to be on my side. I want them to root for me. I want them to show me, the respect if I'm working hard for them, and I'll do it. Like I'm a very loyal person, so I will give them that in return. I will give them all of me. I will give them everything that I possibly can. Um,
Yeah.
those were the simple
Valid.
things that I was wanting. I'm like, I want a good company. I want, and that I think that's what we all wanted. It's even about like dating when people are like, well, I want somebody who's tall and I want him to be outgoing. I want him to be nice and sensitive and funny. He needs to be funny and like my parents, like all these things. Like, yeah, we all want all of these things, but like, let's just simplify three things. Like, and now, I'm looking back at, especially the last 2 years of my career where I came from to where the company I'm at now, and those check all the simple boxes of like, okay, if you work hard for this company, we'll pay you accordingly. If you are loyal to this company, we will be loyal to you. We're a good
Yeah.
company. We try to be the best to our employees and our drivers the best way we can. And it's like, that sounds like such a cliche. And if I was hearing this, I would be like, yeah, okay, dude, that's what we all want. Yeah, I got it. Got you. But
But
then
it
it's
could
just
be
like,
that
oh,
simple.
okay, when you actually find someone and you both do it together, I mean, it's like marriage. It's like, oh, okay, we're both, no one's right or wrong. We're not trying to, hold score, like who's doing, 60%, who's doing 40%. It's just we're in this together and we're both doing the right things. And come to find out, that's kind of what I wanted. It didn't really matter what I was doing. I just wanted to offer myself and my communications and my people skills to someone who appreciated it. And that's kind of what I found. And it is as easy as that. It really, really is.
It can
Like, and
be.
I was like, I want a local company that's, we want to move. Springfield, Missouri's our home, and we found it. Like, it's just, it's amazing.
It is amazing, and it
Yeah.
can be that simple. I'm really glad you took it to that place of like, you can want things out of life. You can complicate the hell out of it. But if
Yes.
you really get down to what matters, it can be simple and it can feel good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yes,
Good for you.
absolutely. Yeah.
You know, but speaking of this 13-year-old Jay that you brought up, this
Yeah.
is I wonder what he
He's
would think.
very nerdy. He's the same as me. I'm still the nerd, the
He's
13-year
still
old
that
nerd. I
guy.
still don't have braces and glasses anymore.
Oh, love it. And you're about 6 foot. I remember I always looked up and I do look up to you. I think you're an incredible person and it's
Oh,
been fun
same. I
seeing you do life.
likewise. Very much.
So, well, thank you.
Yeah.
The 13-year-old comes to mind because one of the questions I love asking my guests is and I don't know if he's 13, but if you could go back in time to yourself in a previous chapter of your book, right? And sit next to him
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, listen, I gotta tell you some things." Now, would you give him a glimpse into the future, or would you give him advice? What would you do at who would you sit next to? What age would you be? And what would you say?
Fun question. That's a fun question. It really is. Gosh, I would probably just say, take in the moment. I mean, I think, you know, I, me and my wife try to talk about this and try to be intentional about it as much as we can. And that is like just as hard as it is, because it's real easy for me and you to talk about this on a podcast and be like, it's no, let's just be intentional about things. Like even though that you're angry and you're tired and you're stressed and all this stuff that's going on and there's bills, like let's just sit down and laugh. It's easy. I mean, I think it's really hard in the moment. Like
Yeah.
it's really easy to talk about it now, but it's really hard in the moment. But it's almost kind of like, hey, we've got to take in each and every moment. Like we really do, because how many times have you heard from older people? They're just like, it just goes by like that.
Goes
You just
so
wake
fast.
up one day and
Mhm.
everybody's gone and you're 70 and it's all gone away. And it's almost kind of like, there's a reason why everyone says that. It's not just like as a kid, I'm just like, okay, yeah, okay, grandpa. Yeah, grandma, I understand. Yeah, I'll try to do it my favorite. But it really is like, and if you're not in the moment, if you're not willing to take life on life's terms, even when it's bad, and see a month later or a couple years later, the good in that bad, man, even when it's happening, it's really tough. But I mean, even when, I don't know, when I personally have hard days or, someone's made me mad or whatever, like somebody cuts me off in traffic, we're all human. Like it happens, right? I mean, I get mad. I do some, inside the car gestures.
You get
Um,
mad? What? I just can't picture it.
Not too bad. But I mean, it's almost kind of like, hey, tomorrow's a different day, and it's the same like with the pause. Like you go to sleep, and I know it's like sometimes I know I'm having a crappy day, and I'm crabby, and I'm just like, you know what, maybe I go to bed early tonight, and 95% of the time tomorrow is a completely different mentality. I get to reflect on yesterday and go, okay, this is gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived in the moment yesterday, and I'm going to try to live in the moment today. So that's what I would tell. That was a long answer. That's what I would tell my 13-year-old self. I would say, hey, man, just take it all in, even the bad stuff, even you carrying way too many books and people making fun of you for your big glasses and your nerdy attire. Like, it's going to be okay. This is going to pay off someday because you're going to memorize all these cassette tapes and you're going to regurgitate it into complete nothingness and random information that you can share on social media and on any kind of show like this podcast. And people are going to be like, wow, holy cow, you memorized that whole George Carlin bit. It's impressive. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't have a life when I was 13, so I listened to it and memorized it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. But hey, there's that bank of knowledge where somebody would appreciate those things. Like, spout it out.
Somebody, I don't know who. Hopefully we'll find somebody who.
I love it. I love it. I love that you own it. Like, yeah, I was that kid, and I'm gonna tell him to, like, if you could, to enjoy the moments, live in the moments.
Yeah.
Like, I love that you even said even the bad ones. Like, it's not
Oh,
without value.
yeah.
All the lessons live in those moments. So
Yeah.
this is good stuff.
The,
I'll go
some
tell
of
my
the
13-year-old self that too.
I'm telling you, man, some of the worst parts of my life have turned into the best.
Mm.
I had to go through those certain lows to be, I mean, and then it's just kind of what you make out of it.
Mhm.
Are you going to keep on pounding yourself into the ground? Or are you going to still keep on making the same mistakes? Or are you going to do something about it? Are you going to talk about it? Now, I've wonderful wife and two hilarious kids. I mean, I guess our 7 month doesn't say much, but he's a happy little dude.
I
And,
love
I'm so grateful to have all of them. And I can't, if I don't do, then I don't have any of that. Like some of that stuff, it can be taken away from you, but I can do it myself, like by not, taking care of it and being proactive and making sure that I am doing and not just talking about it.
hmm
So,
So, something I learned in the coaching community is MIT, most important thing. So, talking about simple and what's really matters to you, what would you say is your MIT, your most important thing?
ooh, oh man.
Or things, right? You can have
I mean, I would have to go back to the peace. I mean, you got to have some sort of peace, even in chaos. And it is possible.
I
It
agree.
is possible, and I think like as we, you at least strive or try to do the next right thing.
Mhm.
Are we all gonna do that? No. Have I done it last like bad? Things last week like where I wasn't. I'm like, oh yeah, man. But I guess the most important thing is after that you own it and you try to apologize whenever you need to and make it good to whoever you did the wrong to, and I think that equals, for me, it equals peace. And that peace, I think, is kind of like something that I've learned, like with the entertainment stuff. I've always wanted to give some of my, I've always wanted to make people laugh or have them think about something different, or touch people in certain ways, like with emotions, like whatever I do. But I think that's kind of the similar thing. Like if you do have peace and you do have that, you can also give that away just by being who you are. You don't have to lecture anyone. You can just lead by example. And I think that that's I think that's my, what is it, MIT? MIP?
Yeah.
MIP is
MIT.
minor in possession. I've also had one of those, a couple of those in college, underage. That's different. MIPs are different than MITs.
I think that's correct. Yes, they are different. We just need
Yes.
another podcast episode for all those stories.
Yeah. We can do, like, we can surely do that. I can do a load of podcasts on my mistakes.
Oh, I could too. I absolutely could. That could be
Yeah.
its own theme, honestly.
Yeah.
But here we are being able to talk about how to find peace
Yeah.
and focus on being present and having our most important things be the center points in our lives. So
There you go. That's that's my MIT.
there you
Actually,
go.
that is my MIT.
I love it. There's your nugget. You take that with you and go share that with
Okay.
people.
All right.
Okay, so I know that a new career is not the only thing new. I know you've stepped into your own business, which I'm sure is not new for you. I mean, you've done so many things with your talents in the media and communications world. Can you share a little bit about what you're doing and then where we can find you?
Yeah. So I started, I guess you call it a production company, and I am still in the beginning phases of it. But as I still do voice commercials and produce, and still do some video stuff, and then some social media marketing, and just helping local business like that. That was a big thing that I really enjoyed. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what the production company. It's called Fotsch Productions. I don't know what it's going to be. It's very small scale now. It is, I love producing, I love editing, I still love filling that cup. So it's kind of, work. I love working with people in any aspect, obviously, even stuff that I don't know. I'd love to
Which I
learn.
love. That's so
So
great.
that's really fun too. So any way that I can help people, and it's such a, I know that's a vague answer, but I really don't know what it is yet. And I don't know if it's going to stay small. I don't know if it's going to be big. I don't know if it's going to be around for a year and then go away. But hey,
That's
I
fair
still have
though.
trucking.
Yes, some trucking.
I have trucking, and I have those horse shows and Cardinal baseball. I think that's not going to go away. I don't know. We've had a
I
bad year.
love it. No, not at this point. You're such a staple at the Springfield Cardinals. But I just all the things you're willing to try, the things you're unafraid to try and do to keep your life from being boring, like
Yeah.
it's serving you and it's keeping you connected to the world and you are helping people and you are creating impact and that's why I'm here too. So, it's fun to see what you're up to and I hope that whatever the production company is meant to be is just what you need it to be and I hope that you know everything about trucking that there is possibly to know and and you can teach people all about it one day.
Yes. They need tires. They need gas. The engine needs to go. Those are all important things. I've learned that so far. So it's be
That's
safe.
good.
Be safe out there.
That's a
Yeah.
good start. That's a
And
really
it's the
good
same
start.
thing. I'm glad to be a part of your new adventure too. And I mean, obviously, I know you're doing the podcast stuff, but the life coaching too. I could talk every day about that. Like it's never ending, and it's just like I said, it's not about me and you sitting here talking about life and that we have it all figured out. It's more of like being a little vulnerable, having a little humility. Like we all make mistakes. Like how can we do it together? Who can be around you that's going to be a positive influence on you, not a negative. Like also looking at kind of not surrounding yourself by those people. I mean that's also medicine. Like and it and you do want to. I mean, sometimes you struggle to find those people in your life depending on where you're at in your life, but gosh, when you do, it is it's wonderful. I mean, look, I'm just all I'm doing in this podcast is regurgitating everything that I've heard from people that are way older and way smarter and way wiser than me who have got it figured out. However, I've never talked to Ryan Seacrest, but one day if I do, I will ask him about life.
We'll have to work on that. To work on that connection. I
Yeah.
love it. Okay, I'm gonna let you wrap this up. What are your final words for this audience and the people listening, want to be inspired and want to feel like they can connect and relate. Like that's, at least that's who I imagine are listening right now. So you wrap this thing up. What are your final words for today? I'm so grateful that you've been here with us.
Man, I man, don't be scared to try new things. I mean, it is just it. I know it's scary, but the scariness is part of the fun part of life. And when you get into a mental space and a healthy space, like for yourself, I know for me, and you're able to let all of that in and let all of that happen is when I started truly growing as a person. I feel like I was like a late bloomer.
Mm.
Um, I was like all my other
So
friends,
many
like they're
things.
just like, my kids are graduating high school. I'm like, I just had a child. I'm
Oh,
like,
I see
I
what
just hope I'm around when he's 16 so I can teach him how to drive, you
you're
know? Or maybe I don't need to. Maybe somebody else needs to teach him how to drive. But yeah, I mean, I would say, like, get to a place where you can let those things in and live in the moment. And it's so, and you can, the things that you would have never thought that is so exciting. Like, I mean, I don't want to downplay this trucking job. It is really fun. I have met some of the most interesting, neat, outgoing people. Like, there's some people where I'm just like, man, you would kill it on the radio. You'd be awesome. Like, you're such a character. That's awesome.
You
But
would
then,
know.
we talk about it. We're like, gosh, there's no money in radio. That's why I'm here. I'm like, oh, good point.
Reality.
Yeah.
Here you are, wiser
Yes.
and still
And I
learning.
would
And
also
still,
like to say before we end this podcast that Ashley Levering once had me MC an event, and she gave me some kind of Cajun spicy tequila that had like hot. You had somebody send me over that they were sampling all different kinds of spicy tequila, something or other.
uh-huh.
I think I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and it was very hot. It was very spicy. And I'm
Gotcha.
like, you know what? I'm doing it for the kids. I'm only doing it for the kids. This is the only way. I'm getting heartburn. I am going to be sick tonight, but you know what? I did it for the kids.
That's
So
the answer to everything. Do it for the
thank
kids.
you, Ashley,
You're
for
welcome.
giving me that ghost pepper shot of tequila or whatever it was.
Oh my gosh. I did rope you into quite a lot of things. Thanks for all the shenanigans, my
It was
friend.
awesome, though. It was great.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being
Yeah.
on my show,
Thanks for having me.
and I'm glad to be connected and to stay connected and see what happens in life. And
Yeah.
thanks for sharing wisdom and lessons, and I'll
Yeah.
talk to you soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on, and love you guys, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, we will.
Not over a spicy shot of ghost pepper tequila, though.
Maybe no. We'll see.
Mhm.
All right. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Ashley.
Thank you so much for listening to the Needy and Normal podcast. If you liked today's episode, please rate and review the show and send your favorite episode to a friend. If you're interested in coaching, visit ablifecoaching.com. I am accepting new clients now, and initial discovery sessions are complimentary.